Most meta advertisers think they need better hooks to hit winning ad creatives. The truth is, most of the times they don't. They have quite solid hooks whenever I review the ad account. What they need though is different hooks for different people that are at different stages of their journey. In this video I will explain exactly what I mean, and I'll teach you my playbook to apply to your brand to know exactly what kind of hooks will resonate with your audience and audiences you want to expand. My name is William, and my team and me is managing the Meta Ads funnel with a portfolio of 7 to 8 figure brands. Now this is how we think about hooks. Now first of all, we need to clarify what the problem is with the majority of hooks that I see. The way most advertisers ideate is they look at trending TikToks, they look at ads of competitors, and they just gonna grab their hook and just adjust it slightly so it's working for their brand. Now the issue with that approach is that you won't ever outscale or seriously compete with your competition if all you do is taking their hooks. They just sound the same. The more often a person encounters a specific hook, the more numb they become to it, and the more likely they will skip the next time they hear it. So just by knowing these fundamentals, we know that a hook works then the best if you and only you are running it, and how can be the case if you actually ideated it yourself. And the second problem B, when you just take ads that are online and adjust for your brand, is that your competitors and other brands might be targeting an audience that is in a complete different awareness stage. But the thing is, the awareness stage determines what kind of hook you should be going for. Alright, now as we have that out of the way, how to actually solve these problems and how to make genius original hooks that are unique to your brand and that work perfectly for your audience. To craft a resonating hook, you have to first decide who you will be addressing. Is your audience product aware? Is your audience most aware? Is it product aware? Is it solution aware? Is it problem aware? Is it unaware? This will determine their mental state when they are scrolling, and based on this, your hook must change, otherwise it won't resonate. Now, if you're not familiar with awareness stages, you can watch the video I link here that explains it in detail, but from here we will assume you already are familiar with awareness stages. So if you want to make an ad that targets people that are actually already aware of your brand, or you just want to kind of retarget them, you need to create a hook that just reinforces the desire. They already want to get it, they're already interested. So a headline that is just a reminder or just has an offer really, or just is the product name, as straightforward as that, can work. So you can literally have product name 20% off today, or brand logo, product image, and your offer, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a discount. This is the simplest task for any copywriter, and honestly the salary for this kind of job should be almost zero, because everyone can do it. You need no skills for this. Now when we go to the next awareness level, the product aware level, it's still small, it's still less than 10% of the market usually. We have a bigger market, and this is where it gets more interesting and we can actually apply a framework. So with the product aware stage, you need to understand that this person is already aware that your product exists. If they know that the product exists, they also know some of your competitors. Otherwise, they wouldn't be familiar with the product. They might have watched already some of your competitor ads. They might have watched already some of your less aware ads. They might have heard from a friend. Either way, they know that this product exists. So now they're deciding, okay, which should I get? Now you can imagine that if you now go and run an ad to this person that leads with the problem, this won't resonate, because they're like, yeah, I know, I have this problem, yeah, I want to solve it, I know this product is a solution, I know all of this is boring, I just want to know which to get, and they skip your ad. Let's take the example of a weight loss product. The hook, can't lose weight no matter what, is not relevant if a person already is determined to lose weight and they already know they want to get this specific product, for example, something that accelerates their metabolism or that suppresses their appetite, and they're just comparing what to get. So when it comes to product aware hooks, you want to research your competition and think, all right, so what is the exact frustration of a person with competition? Why should they not get a competitor product but my product? And this is also what you want to lead with in the hook. All the information around it, how it works, blah, 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 they already know it. All you need to convey from the hook throughout the ad is why to go with you specifically. Here's an example of such an ad and such a hook / headline. It's a static ad, but this could be also the hook for a video ad. You can see this specific brand is selling TPU tubes. In case you don't know what it is, this is basically what's inside bikes, the tube that holds the air and the thing that gets destroyed when you're getting a flat tire. So because cyclists are aware of this issue and they don't want to have flats all the time, but they also obviously know the product TPU in a tube, that's what they use regularly, right? We have a product aware ad and a product aware hook. Here we say 50% thicker than typical TPU tubes. You can see this attacks directly a weak point of competitor products and highlights and benefits us over them. This is really what product-aware hooks should be about. Highlighting a problem of competitors or highlighting something they wish for but can't get from competition, pointing out that we do it better. You can even assume they already used competitor products but we are not happy with it. To give you some more examples of if you're selling raincoats, you could go for something like actually 100% waterproof. Highlighting our benefit versus other raincoats that claim to be raincoats but are not fully waterproof and people got wet. We actually work with a brand like this and that claim works also great for them. Again, people are already product aware, they know raincoats exist, so this is how the hook should be formed. Or let's say you sell a robo vacuum and a lot of them are struggling with carpets, and then your headline could be carpets can stop it. That would be again a very strong headline because most competitor products struggle with carpets. People might have already bought competitor products, used them, they were not happy about it. So this kind of ad targets this product aware audience and works perfectly on them because it hits the pain point or what they actually want in such a product. So here another example for the same product, but as a video hook.
This is how superlight TPU should be built. Tired of flimsy TPU tubes that puncture too easily or feel sketchy on rough roads? Meet the Craft Cadence TPU inner tubes. It's 50% thicker than typical TPU tubes.
You can see that we started by pointing out problems with competitor products and then again moved to our product and pointed out its benefit and advantage over the competitor product. So this is how you always want to take the product aware stage. And in case you're in a position where you think, but my product doesn't really have any benefits over my competitors, well, then you are in a bad position anyway. You need to have a better product and then advertise it. So focus on your product first if that's the case. Now next up, the solution aware hooks. Here we have people who know they have a problem, they want a solution, but they don't know exactly your product category. For people like this, the hook framework is similar to the product aware hook. The only difference is that we don't say, hey, our product is better than the same product from another brand. Instead, we say, hey, our product category is better than another product category that could solve the problem as well. Or it might be not even a real product category, but a solution where you don't even need to spend money. For example, if someone has sleep problems, you could sell them melatonin, but you could also sell them a meditation app. To wind down and then have better sleep. You could also sell them a course on a lifestyle routine or on a health routine. There are many different solutions that are not the same products, but they deliver the same solution. And all of those are also your competitors, even though you don't really compete on the same product, but you compete on the same solution and you serve the same desire. And when you only have solution aware people and they don't know yet exactly what to get as a solution, you're competing against anyone who's delivering a solution to the same problem. Now again, similar to the product aware hooks, you just want to point out that you have the better solution. Here are some examples of such hooks. Here's an example of such an ad. Here we are selling a dragonfly killing product. And first we start by disqualifying other solutions that have failed.
Boiling water to eliminate dragonflies. Let's talk about it.
Alright, you can see that we quickly disqualify all the failed solutions. So here we have vinegar, baking soda, boiling water, bleach into the pipes, right? Things like that. People believe that's a viable solution and they try it and it doesn't really work. So this ad aims specifically at people that tried already the non-commercial solutions or other products like bleach and it didn't work. So now all we do is saying, yeah, you tried it, it didn't work, but this is what actually works. We're disqualifying failed solutions and provide the actual solution. You can see similar to the product aware ads, but we disqualify not other products, but other solutions.
Say goodbye to long inflation stops this winter.
Alright, so here's another example. Here we are selling an e-mini pump that can inflate bike tires within seconds instead of using a hand pump. So this ad is solution aware and this is how we started it, based on what I've just mentioned.
Say goodbye to long inflation stops this winter. This e-mini pump inflates your 40...
So you can see we said say goodbye to long inflation stops. People used to stop, use the hand pump to inflate the tire again and then continue when they had a flat or when they need to add air. Now we're saying goodbye, failed solution, hello, better solution. You get the point. This obviously resonates with people who want a better solution to a problem that's already kind of solved but not satisfactory, and or maybe it's not solved at all if other solutions failed for them, like the bleach or vinegar for the dragonflies. So next up we have the problem aware hooks. This is the typical problem solution type of ad. You know, all the typical frameworks like head of this, that. Essentially these ads are targeting people who have a problem, they don't like it, they want to solve it, but they don't even know how, they don't know possible solutions. So these ads start by calling out the problem, not the solution or the product, and this is really important to understand understand, because if your audience is problem aware, but you blast them with product aware ads or solution aware ads, they just won't understand what even is going on. Because if you speak about a product they don't know, they don't care. They only care about resolving their problem. And at the same time, as I mentioned before, if you start with a problem, but people are like, yeah, I know all of this, I just want the right product to solve this, and then comparing products, then they will also skip your ad. So you see how important it is that the hook is actually tailored towards your audience. Now let's take a look at some problem-aware ads and what kind of hooks we use there. Alright, so here we have a problem-aware ad for the same product that kills drain flies, but for another way instead, problem-aware. And this is how we open here.
You want to know the real secret to killing drain flies at the source? Here's a hint. It ain't this. Listen, drain flies aren't just annoying. They make your house feel dirty, and they never completely go away. You clean, you spray, you think.
So you can see we lead with the problem over the desire, which is getting rid of the rain flies, but targets people who don't really know how or didn't even try the other failed solutions. They're just like, okay, it's annoying, how do I get rid of them? And right after mentioning the problem or the desire of like just eliminating them, we agitate the problem. You can see we go over how it's annoying, how it feels, how it makes your home feel dirty, and so on and so on. Problem agitation is important to keep the viewer engaged because they relate to it and they're like, yes, and now how can I actually solve this? They're curious to see the solution. This is how you make a problem-aware ad. You can see we don't mention the product, we don't mention any possible solution. We're just talking about the problem, and then after agitating the pain, we introduce the solution, which is our product. As mentioned before, some other frameworks could be like, get rid of this, tired of this. For example, one of the other winning ads that we had for this drain fly killing product was get rid of the rain flies for good. Just the target outcome, the desire, and that becomes the headline. So the last thing that's left, and that's actually most interesting and most challenging, are unaware hooks. Because an unaware person doesn't only not know possible solutions or possible products to solve their problem, they don't even realize they have a problem. But if we mention to them they have a problem, they suddenly want to solve it because they're like, oh, I didn't even know I could live that much better. Of course, it won't be as obvious as like with the drain fly killing product. It's like, you know, your whole house is full with those drain flies, and then you're like, oh, I don't know to have a problem. Like, it won't be like this, of course. But for example, if we go back to this e-mini pump for the cycling brand, people might be using hand pumps, and they're kind of fine with it because they think, well, that's the only way to do it. They don't even know such a product exists. They're not even really tired to use hand pumps, maybe a bit, but they're also like, well, that's just how it is. They don't really feel they have a problem. So the unaware hooks, all they need to do is to gather the right persona, the right audience, and to make them curious to watch more. It almost feels like an organic post. You won't have anything promotional like, oh, 50% thicker than other, 50% thicker or faster than this other competitor product, which would be product aware, or better than this or that solution, or get rid of this problem. None of those. Instead, you really just call out the right audience. You can make them curious, and then you educate them on the fact that they have a problem. Now, to give you an example, we're working with a jewelry brand that sells 100% 24 karat gold jewelry, and they price it in a way that people actually mainly pay for the gold value. No brand markup or anything like that. Now, the thing is, the broad masses, they don't even really know that they are overpaying for jewelry. Most of them think like, oh, this ring costs like, I don't know, $400, $500. There's a bit of gold inside. Maybe they don't even know how much and they just buy it. They don't realize that most of the price is markup. So for these kind of people, we just create a hook to gather them and then to educate them on the problem. And then they're suddenly like, oh, I could actually save money. I could actually keep the value that I'm spending on jewelry. And here's an example of how such an ad would look like.
What do you think the average margin is for a jewelry brand? If you Google the average margin of jewelry brands, you'll see numbers like 40 to 80% in markups. An 80% markup on gold jewelry, and honestly, most people don't question it. But here's what most people don't realize. A lot of gold jewelry is either plated or mixed with cheaper materials. Look at this. This is the cost versus the price difference. Like that ring, that's $4,800. The actual gold in it might only be worth $200 to $300.
So you're not really paying for gold.
You're paying for the name. Now, does that mean don't buy jewelry or you're wasting money? Not exactly, because not every brand is chasing massive markups. In a lot of East Asian cultures, gold jewelry is priced closer to the actual gold value. Some brands bring that approach to the US. For example, Kuvera Jewelry.
So you can see how the ad is built. I purposefully showed you like 50% of the ad and not just the hook, because you can see half of the ad has nothing to do with the product. And this is how to build unaware hooks and how to lead them to your product. You can see we first started with just making people curious. What is the average margin of a jewelry brand? Now, people who are interested in jewelry will watch it. Other people might be not interested and not watch it. So we get at the right audience. After doing that, we educate them on the problem. Then we introduce the solution, and then we introduce the product. You can see we are basically going through all the awareness stages from top to bottom. They are unaware. We tell them, hey, there's a problem. Then we tell them, hey, there's a solution. Then we tell them, hey, this product is the solution. And then comes the pitch. So as you can see, like when it comes to the structure of those briefs and of those ads after the hook, it's very simple and straightforward. If you have a product aware hook, your hook is product aware and then it ends brand aware. So the pitch. If an ad is solution aware, you start solution aware, then you introduce the product, then there comes the pitch. If your ad is problem aware, you start with the problem, agitate it, then you introduce the solution, then you present the concrete product, which is the solution, and then comes the pitch. And if you're starting unaware, your hook just get us the right people, then you educate them on the problem, then you educate them that there's actually a solution, then you give them a specific solution, and then comes the pitch. So much on the script structure, but for now, this video was just focusing on the right hook. Now, if you wonder, okay, but what exact awareness stage should I target? Well, this is something you can learn from your market research. But also, I'll tell you, for most products, don't just focus on one stage, because that is a common mistake. You want to build an awareness funnel because there are always people who will know your product. There will also be people who have no clue they have a problem. So if you build ads that cover each awareness stage and use hooks that cover each awareness stage, this is exactly how you can build a funnel that actually scales, because majority of the market is not aware that your product exists, and a vast majority is also not even aware that they have a problem. So it's impossible to them to sell unless you educate them on the fact that they have a problem. So this is exactly how we think about creative at scale. It's not enough to copy hooks. It's not enough to just focus on one awareness stage. You need to hit different people with different messaging and build an awareness funnel. If you want to learn more about awareness stages, check out the video below. And if you're spending more than 100k per month on your brand and you want to see how I'd apply this framework to your ad account to scale your brand, click the first link in the description. You will be able to schedule a call with me. I will audit your entire strategy and I can potentially help you scale your brand. Scaling